name's Tim Stallard, and I'm the Anchorage Invasive Plant Program Coordinator with the Anchorage Park Foundation. The Park Foundation is the nonprofit partner to the Anchorage Parks and Rec Department. And I'm here with Lindsay Flagstad, who's my colleague from the UAA's Alaska National Heritage Program. And we have a third partner, the UF Cooperative Extension Service. Gina wasn't able to make it tonight, but so the three of us, we're kind of thinking about this hackathon and how the data that we already have available can be used for a good civic purpose using technology. So here's the problem, the invasion of the habitat snatchers. You've probably heard about issues with invasive species in the news. It's a huge problem around the globe. It's considered one of the top threats to global biodiversity after climate change and habitat loss. So it's definitely a big problem. We're lucky in Alaska that we haven't had the heavy human development here that other places have seen. So the problem here is not nearly as bad as it is elsewhere. But these scary creatures are showing up. They're already here. There's more more on their way. So here, this is kind of invasive species 101. You have them. They first show up in small numbers. They kind of lay low for a while. They see if they can find their sweet spot, their ecological niche in Alaska. Slowly start to increase their numbers. Alaska's such a huge state, but hopefully somebody eventually will see them, and Lindsay or I or another expert from one of the land management agencies will recognize them. Because at this point they're starting to increase fairly rapidly, and enter an exponential growth stage. So as this, the graphic says, Alaska, we're still pretty low on this curve. A lot of western lower 48 states are way up here. And the public often doesn't become aware of the problem until these species have blown up and they're everywhere, like the dandelions are now everywhere in Anchorage and elsewhere. So for some of the species, like this is more kind of for the expert territory, but when things get more visible and here the public can really do a lot to help us out. And that's, to me, while this is somewhat of a daunting issue, what I really enjoy about working with invasive species and plants is the public really can help and make a difference with managing some of these invasive weeds. So we have a ton of data. So Lindsay manages this database. This is the ACEPIC, Alaska Exotic Plant Information Clearinghouse database. This is their data portal through the UAA website. So this is a map of the state of Alaska, which incidentally, it sort of looks like the road system, which reflects both where the weeds are and also where we're looking. So anyway, so there's a ton of data for all these different species. Obviously the name of the species, the size of the patch, whether there's 0 to 1 to 5 plants detected, 6 to 25. So there's a number. Geospatial location, latitude and longitude. And other data specific to the site. So so I heard about this hackathon and the Adopt a Hydrant project, and realized it'd just be perfect, kind of just take out the hydrants and put in the weeds, and try to get people to adopt some of these weed patches as well. So it seems like I'm not a technical programmer myself, but it seems like it should be pretty easy. I haven't been able to identify an open source application, but the programmers might have more ideas on where to find those, and something that we could already out there that we could use for this. So our thought was that we'd limit the data to Anchorage to just 11 species that are fairly common, easy to identify, and then so it'd show up, and the patch would be. So the person could look on a patch, they could search by their neighborhood, like their own address or their favorite park, and kind of find out what weeds are nearby. This is just another map this is a invasive plant atlas from New England. Just another idea of how to do a graphic. Almost done. So say they pull up their favorite park. They go to Campbell Park. These are New England species, but they go to their park and these are the weeds present. Latin and common name. And then a real brief species biography for identification of photo, appearance, foliage, and then control. This one, hand pull it, whatever, once a month for the summer months. And then just some little data collection thing. They could type in, yeah, I pulled it once a month all summer, send it in to us for a report. And I think that's my last slide. Yeah.
How many patches are we talking?
But
As many as we want? Okay.
Yeah.
Like all the places in the state?
Yeah. I thought this was just focused on Anchorage, and that's probably a good place to start. It's public lands in the Anchorage area to kind of make it more manageable. But
what's an example of a patch in Anchorage? Like a park or someone's backyard?
I think I don't know if we could limit it, if we could sort the data by public versus private ownership. But it'd be nice to focus like on parks and public lands. So we don't want to send people into private property, but obviously.
We're not allowed to go and chop down people's maple trees or anything?
No, yeah, exactly, yep.
But you're probably looking at maybe 100 plants in a cluster. We defined an infestation anywhere from 1 to over 1,000 plant stems, and it has to be separated by more than 50 meters from the next population of that same species. So, does that give you that idea? And I think there's probably we would be serving 1,000 in ballpark, 1,000 records for this project. But we have over 100,000 records for the state.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you kind of want to build what New England does. Is there a chance of stealing their application and just putting our plants in there?
No, we kind of asked, and their app is actually more of an early detection app.
Okay.
So theirs is focused on if you see a new weed or you see one of these ones we're worried about, map where it is. So different focus, different outcome to the app. I stole some of the graphics because they're
Adopt to Hydra, on the other hand, is open source.
What is?
And
Adopt to Hydra.
it would be dead easy to
Right.
make
You
it
just
correct.
go and you replace the word Hydra.
We could have it
with
done
plant.
tomorrow. It would be like the recording, the additional pieces that you're talking about, which
Right.
would be recording when you've done your maintenance or whatever.
So do you have like a list of at-risk areas specifically, or should we pull down all vegetation for Anchorage, which we can do? We have the technology. And then segment it out, and then hopefully get 100% coverage of Anchorage, or is there like 15% coverage that you're more concerned with?
I guess I'm not sure I exactly understand your question.
He wants to know how much impact can this software really have?
Well, how much impact do you want us to make?
Well, I think, kind of when I showed you the invasive species curve and the exponential growth, these are species, these are the more common ones that are starting to explode, and they're just beyond what, I can manage as a invasive plant manager. So we need to get, whatever, tens, hundreds of people in the community to help hold them.
Well, for example, I can segment, Russian Jack Park into 1 billion different pieces. Is that something that you're looking to do? Is actually take parkland and then just chop it up and then actually have people go after certain segments?
I think you're probably just using the existing patch data.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
we would take
That's
the
what,
data straight from that.
I've never seen a patch data that's right a question, so.
It's point data.
Okay.
So it's the centroid of the infestation that we're serving.
And each data point, there's a size to it.
Yeah.
Whether it's like 1,000th of an acre or 1/10 of an acre or a full acre.
Right, but it's not polygon data, so.
Right.
Well, good enough.
It would, yeah. And the species that we chose, just to expand on Tim's thought a little bit, are things that are easily identifiable by the public and things that still can be controlled. Like dandelions are off, no one's going to get rid of dandelions in Alaska. So that it's, but you can.
Sorry.
And you can.
So if you wanted to try, my front yard is available for patching, that's private.
You can pick them and then you can put it on the food mosaic.
Right. Make a salad out of it.
Nice crossover.
No.
Yeah.
So what format is the existing patch data in? mean, is there a,
You can download.
is there a database, I mean, but in terms of developing against it, is there a database out there that we can talk to? There's probably not an API available or anything.
No, there is, it's housed on a SQL server at UAA, and you can download it in a variety of formats from that Big Data portal that we were just showing. So, yeah, text, Excel, shape files. But, yeah, and I think if it was helpful to you all, I think you should get direct access. I think I could only get direct access to the UAA server.
And in terms of being able to actually, build against it and have the data be, live, it would be tremendously helpful for the thing to be.
Yeah, I
To
think
be-
it would simplify it.
To be real, although, if you want to sort of record activity against the patch, in other words, to go out there and pull using that patch, you need to have something out there to write to.
Right.
Which means that it would be useful if they, are you the DBA on that?
No, I'm not. I'm the point of contact for all the data, but then we have a data manager.
Yeah, it would be, if we could get contact information, I think it would be helpful to have that data manager, available for questions during the week if he or she was up to it, and then it would be tremendously helpful to have them, either at or available for the hackathon itself.
Yeah, I think she's willing.
Anything else?